Found a lot of my students were left with CTE recently. So this is what this video is gonna be all about. How to read your opponent, how to make sure you don't get hit and aren't left with CTE. So one of the biggest mistakes I see beginners make is they look into their opponent's eyes. A lot of people think that it's just naturally instinctive to go and just dodge all these punches, but you have to work for that. People don't realize how many moving parts there are in boxing. There's the hands, there's the eyes, there's the feet, there's the hips, there's the knees, there's everything. And you could use all of these parts of your body to trick an opponent. So the biggest mistake I see in beginners on why they cannot read their opponents is where their eyes are being placed. For example, if we get into a point of view situation right now, I could be looking straight up top and drop down to the body. So a big tip that I always like to tell people is kind of have this sort of T-zone right here that you're kind of looking at, and keep those eyes moving, right? You're gonna have the hands in your peripherals, you're gonna have the chin and the head, right? And you're also gonna have that body and that torso. Just in case you see any movements on the outside, you know to move out the way. Aside from looking at that T-zone, I'm kind of doing a circle around that, right? So my eyes are going from the hands up to the chin, down to the next hand, down to the torso, back to the hands. And I'm just doing this constant circle with my eyes, just so I could get everything in my view, just in case they throw that cross or that jab right at me, or I just get out the way. The best way to practice this is by sparring. You don't have to go crazy and do hard sparring to knock your opponent out. It's just for technique. Every time you do this, you get used to one, getting hit, and also you get used to that pressure. This is also where you can start reading your opponent by throwing some fake shots and seeing how your opponent reacts. Maybe they drop some hands. Maybe they react the same way you do. That gives you a better read on your opponent. That way you can avoid certain punches in the future by pulling off those same moves. You're probably gonna get hit. It's boxing, you're always gonna get hit. But the whole goal is to get hit less than your opponent does. So sometimes these things might work best for me, but it's not gonna work the best for everyone. So while I might have this T-zone and I might be going from hand to the torso, to the hand, back to the head, that might not be the best thing for you. Maybe you like looking strictly at the hands and that works for you. I know some people that like looking at the neck, and the moment they see a muscle twitch, they're out of the way. Whatever works for you. But I found having this sort of circle T-zone area, that is the best because you get everything in your field of view. So I encourage a lot of you to try this in your next sparring session. Make sure to be mindful and don't go crazy. Have a little test, throw a few more feints. Make sure those eyes stay moving a bit more. Keep in mind of that T-zone. If you end up with CTE for whatever reason, just leave a comment down below and I'll gladly answer.